damaged.
Yeah.
My daughter was torn, my husband specifically bought one that still had a cassette tape. But they were all going to DVD or CD or whatever.
DVR.
Yeah, we did not want that. But now we have a flip camera now because that one broke and the door doesn't work. It's like you just want to grab a camera and take pictures of your kid, you know, while she's doing cute things.
My brother-in-law bought this $2,000 camera.
That's outrageous, isn't it? You don't have to spend that much. You really don't. Oh my word.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
So, well, this is the first impression. This would be the homepage, of course. It's a
Okay.
homepage. It's the homepage where you would enter if you start Swisswise.
Okay.
If you could just, walk around the page for
Okay.
me, but not click on anything.
Right.
And just take a look and tell us what you think, your first impression on this. And you can scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. You can take the mouse and scroll
Okay.
down if you'd like.
I notice it's a kind of a trend to have more graphic representation right at your front page, your front sign-in page.
That's something you like, or do you think it's not necessary?
Well, for me in particular, I think it's fine. But for other folks, I could see that it would be really, really helpful.
Why wouldn't it be helpful for you?
Well, it probably is. Nobody else is doing this right now. I mean, in their current systems. No, I think it's great. I mean, for instance, people who really have to look very carefully at their cancellations. I mean, we look carefully, but not to the same degree that a lot of other libraries do.
Okay.
I mean, if they want to subscribe to a title, they have to cancel a title. We're not in that situation. We're in a rather different situation than a lot of other places. So, I mean, it's nice that it gives you a graphic representation of sort of tasks or things that are going on with your account in a way that we've never had access to really
Really? Yeah.
graphically before. No, it's very interesting. It's very eye-catching. It's one thing I can tell you I've heard lately though about a pet peeve is scrolling. This is a long screen,
Yeah.
so in order to get to the bottom, you have to scroll up and down. So, that's been a real pet peeve of ours lately is, you just feel like to navigate a screen, there's just so much scrolling involved.
Well, apparently from research, women love to scroll.
Really? Well, we're not typical.
That's funny. Carrie did a study, right, on men versus women and their interactions with the web and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah, it's pretty good. He was telling me on the way here.
Really?
Women on the web, yeah. I do.
Really?
For
I hate
Phillips.
scrolling.
You do?
Really?
Okay, you're an exception to the rule.
Yeah, well, I'm an acquisitions librarian and a serial librarian, so it's got to be directed to the point.
Oh.
I'm very linear. I'm just, the up and down just drives me crazy. It's just, I like to see what I need to see, and if I have to go to the next screen, great.
Well, that's the
But
good thing.
I guess, it feels like there's stuff hidden at the bottom here that I'm going to miss because I have to remember to scroll down.
But you can lay out your own page.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if you don't want this here, you just click it away. You never want to see
Okay.
that again.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I want at the top is this and this, so I have it.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
So for you, that would be something you would use then.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Definitely.
This is your personal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's fully customizable, essentially, of where screens are. And
yeah, I'll log on. Yeah. If somebody else logs in, they get a different screen.
Okay.
So in our case, Betty Johnson's been.
Right. Betty Johnson set this up. This is her.
She works in the UK. So yeah, so this. What do you think about the look and feel?
It's very nice.
It's not too squarey, or is it too much color? Or
No, actually, you know what? And actually, what I like is the contrast. It's one of the things we've been struggling with is where's the information that I need to know about without having to look at every piece of information. So for example, this tells me if I look here at orders, the problem ones, rejected, canceled, pending, things like that. I mean, they really jump out at me, and that's what I need to know. I really don't need to know the ones that are taken care of. I need to know what the problems are.
Exactly.
So it's right there for me.
So the focus is something you like.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I have to tell you, my eye was drawn right to that.
To red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, red's my favorite color.
No, there you go.
But no, I
And
mean,
it's
it's
a
just
sweats color.
that's a sweats color.
There.
You've trained us already. But no, it's just. I mean, this is nice. This is fine. It's it's concise and it's it's helpful and it's informative. But this is what drew my eye because that's the kind of problems that I deal with. Do we have orders that are problems? Do we have claims that are problems? What's going on that I need to look at right away?
Okay, so these are apparently the screens in focus right away. So you don't have to scroll for these.
No, that's great. That's great. This, I mean, we don't do much ordering, so I would make that disappear.
Exactly. And maybe put in some new ones because we have a lot of them.
Yep.
And in time, see this gray,
Mhm.
there will be a lot more information like social media information.
Uh-huh.
Stuff like Pinterest. You can
Uh-huh.
play around and share with your colleagues.
Uh-huh.
This, what we know, well, what I heard, especially in Scandinavia, is that people there, librarians,
Mhm.
they meet
Mhm.
a couple of times a year,
Mhm.
and they share journals or
really?
publications
Oh.
with each other very much. And the social thing is getting, and also in Germany, it's really
Oh.
taking off there. So there's a reserve for that,
Uh-huh.
or for
Oh,
notes.
that's great.
You have your
Mhm.
notes there or things.
Mhm. Oh, that's great.
So that's why that is there. But it's not for the first release, so that's
Right,
why it's still
right.
gray.
Oh, very
I just thought I'd tell you so that you don't
Yeah.
wonder why that is there.
The empty gray box.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
No,
was
actually, it did
wondering.
not jump out at me as being empty space.
Oh,
I
good.
mean, it's
Okay.
space that's there. I mean, it's
No, this is like a sheet of paper, on the
Sure,
desktop.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what is possible in this demo
Mhm.
is that you look up a journal,
Mhm.
a name,
Mhm.
right there,
Okay.
but it'll be all dummy,
Right.
so you can type in anything really. We always get the same screen.
Oh.
R.
So, and if you hit return or click anything there, you'll get a results screen.
Oh, happy days. That's nice. And that's the way it sort of works now. It's almost the same kind of display, which
It's
is
not
familiar and
exactly.
yet different. So we are getting more used to this kind of, I don't know what they call it, faceting
Yeah.
on the side.
Faceting filtering. Yeah. And it's the one that we're going to use at Swiss is it's top of the bill. We didn't make it ourselves. We bought it.
Ooh. Wow.
And it's like the best thing around at the moment because it's very intuitive. It learns what you're going
Uh-huh.
to like. And
Will it
so-
come sit in my chair for me? So I can go do something else. I mean, seriously, when Sabrina called that you were here, I actually had somebody at my desk asking about somebody who's retiring. We have to deal with retirement issues. I had two other people right before then, and I had another person I had to chase. And I still had to get the key. So that's why it took me so long to come out, because just, sometimes it'd be nice if somebody could just learn what I need to do a little bit and get started.
is this like every day like that?
Yes. Yes.
Actually, you have this much time to really do your work, and the rest is a lot of around.
Yeah, well, I supervise a lot of people, so I have a lot of personnel stuff that goes on. In order division especially, we have pretty much an open door policy, so we're supposed to be resources for whomever needs help. So there could be a line of people at my desk from collection development, there could be somebody on the phone. In the meantime, I'm trying to do an email, plus I'm not only dealing with that, but I'm also dealing with folks out in the rest of the world
Mhm.
trying to take care of your questions and deal with stuff. And usually things tend to die down by about 3 o'clock. We have a lot of staff who work an earlier schedule.
Mhm.
So by then, most of the personnel issues are pretty much done. And then I have a little bit of a lull. If I'm lucky, I can go eat my sandwich for lunch.
Oh.
And then, but then it kind of starts up again, you know. People know I work a later schedule, so, you know, last night I got a phone call at 5:30. Sometimes I'll get one at 5:45, sometimes 6 o'clock. You know, it just depends.
You get off at 6?
It depends. I have to pick up my daughter before 6:30, so it just depends. And when my husband picks her up, then I get to stay later, and I stay as late as I can. So
Okay.
I usually try not to stay later than 8, but
So if anything that helps you make your schedule lighter is...
just find out what I need to know. I mean, you know, I can have one question from somebody, and if I have to look 8 places to get one answer, you know, like we've been doing a lot of problem solving cleanup before we shut down for fiscal close and rollover, and I had the most disgusting problems in this pile. I have no idea why they were so bad. I mean, it was just, I had like, out of a 6-line invoice, I had 3 of them were problems that somebody couldn't deal with and gave to me. And it's just, I had another one that was from the same vendor, looked like a duplicate, but the 2 pieces looked totally different. You know, I'm hopping around the internet trying to find, and it's in Polish and Bulgarian. I mean, you know, I don't read those languages, so I can't, you know, and I'm trying to do a page-for-page match. Do these even look the same? You know, I kind of had to throw my hands up and just forward the invoices for payment and put it aside till I could really think about it, because I don't know what to do next. But, you know, in the meantime, I've had to look in vendors' online, I've had to look in, Google it on the internet, just to try to find a picture of the cover, so I would know if it was even the right thing. What is it? Why are we checking it in here? Is it even the right thing? Because clearly our vendor was confused too. Because they sent us the same, what looks to us is the same piece in 2 invoices right after the other. But when you look at it, it really looks like something different, but I can't prove it. So, you know, stuff like that, that's what really slows me down. I need to spend time to think about that. And when I can't do that, I mean, that's an important part of my job, because nobody else can do that.
Okay.
I mean, I can't hand that off. That stops with me. And I have to make the decision, do we go ahead and pay the invoice, or do we have another issue? So, you know, I mean, it's,
But
so anything that helps to provide,
how can SwissWise help them?
well, actually what we do, we pillage our vendor databases for bibliographic information, research. Does this exist? If it exists, who really is the publisher? You know, we can have something that was published by Brill, but now is Cambridge University Press, but it wasn't on the list of transfers that we got in September that each publisher puts out. They didn't say they sold it to each other, but now all of a sudden I'm getting an email query from an agent saying, or from a patron, even worse, from a patron saying, oh, well, you know, I was able to get in this yesterday and now I can't get in this today. What's the problem? Well, we didn't know it moved to Cambridge. We don't have an online package with them. We have to buy those on an individual title basis. So I have to go prove somewhere that this title really is Cambridge and that I can okay the order to add online to that print title. And we got to get it turned on ASAP, because we have a faculty member trying to use it to do research.
As far as you can see, would this setup help you in that at all? At providing you the information?
This is where you need to talk to Chopai when
Okay.
she comes, because she does that all the time. I
Okay.
mean, I used to do more of that. Now I am able to delegate a lot of that to her.
Okay.
But when she's not here, I have to do it. Because it's very time consuming, because you really have to sort out, and she's excellent at that, you have to sort out, especially if somebody's interested in a back file. You know, how can we get this? And, you know, we really like to go to subscription agents. I hate going to the publisher. I really try to avoid that at all costs. It's very expensive for us to go to the publisher. Because we have to, especially if we don't have them set up as a vendor, we use PeopleSoft. So even if it takes us 30 seconds to set them up in Voyager, we then have to send it to PeopleSoft, to our accounts payable office, and they have to set up the vendor, the publisher, as a new vendor in PeopleSoft, which can take forever.
Yeah.
So, and then it has to come back, they have to cut the check, if it's a wire transfer, it's very expensive for us to do that. And people don't understand that outside of tech services. They really, I mean, you guys probably do from a subscription agent point of view. You probably really do understand how labor intensive it is to cut that check
Yeah.
and to do that back office business. It's very expensive, and that's a hidden cost. It's not built into the price of the journal. I mean, you know, we went through this with the handling costs and stuff. It's really expensive, and we would rather pay a subscription agent a service fee to do this for us. We cannot afford to do this business like this. So any way that we can get into SweatsWise and say, oh, look, Sweats knows about this. They know that the back file is covered by this, and you have to purchase it from this person. We're gonna place the order with them, we're done. Because we know we're cutting you checks all the time. It's gonna go seamlessly right into that check, you're gonna give us an EDI invoice, and from beginning to end, that flow is gonna be manageable, it's gonna be even, and it's not gonna cost us extra money.
And you'd be happy.
And we're very happy when that happens.
Exactly.
And that happens, I would say, probably 98% of the time. You know, we're very happy.
Okay, so we maintain that.
Absolutely.
But if you do,
That's reality now. That's
don't change that.
exactly. What we need to do, I mean, you are a resource for us. And like I said, we pillage everybody's databases for any kind of research, information, to help us make informed decisions about how to acquire material. I mean, that's what we rely on our vendors to help us with at this point. Because you can hunt all over the internet too, but if we could go to a vendor's database first. I mean, hunting around the internet can be a huge waste of time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those false searches and false results, and I mean, I get so frustrated, I get so annoyed. I just don't have time to paw through 10 pages of websites to
No, no.
try and figure out, why didn't I narrow down that search enough? I can go into SweatsWise, I know how to search in SweatsWise, and I know how to find what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
So, that's what we have to do. We have to be efficient, because, you know, again, we have staff, we either have staff who are just dipping their toes into the water, trying to learn this stuff and aren't really comfortable with electronic resources and databases, or we have staff who are really comfortable with this, but we have less and less staff. And, you know, for instance, if I have an e-journals person who's juggling, you know, she got hit with 5 tickets from patrons that this is a problem, that's a problem. She only has a certain amount of time that she can spend on each one. So she's got to be able to get in there, get what she needs to do, get out and move on, and get that problem solved, and know that it's going to be resolved.
That's how you're going to best serve your patrons.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they're happy, you're happy,
And
you're going to
if they're
get
happy,
less.
we're also happy.
That's
Karen Trainer's happy, we're also happy. You know, seriously, when Janice and Michael were switching back and forth on our account, they were right in the middle of, we had a faculty member who was trying to use an Ovid journal, and we really hate Ovid journals. It was like Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology, which has been a perennial problem, and it's not anybody else's fault but the publisher. He was trying to get in at 7 o'clock in the morning. He's a researcher, he's a very eccentric guy, he's been on the faculty forever, and he was trying to get in at 7 o'clock in the morning. We have one user access, which we were not aware of. It wasn't documented anywhere in our records. He didn't close his search right, so it told him, one simultaneous user, you're done. Somebody else is logged in. So of course it's 7 o'clock in the morning, you know? He's immediately running the flag up the pole. How come I can't get in? There's a ticket now, there's all kinds of stuff. Most people haven't even started work yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we walk in and that's what we gotta deal with. So, and we did, and you know, we turned it over to Michael and Janice, and they took care of it. We had to throw some money at the problem, but we got more users and we got better access, and our faculty members happy.
Yeah.
We have to do that. It's just the way it is, and you know, we have the money to do that. It was something that we already subscribed to. It wasn't a new subscription, but we really had to get it fixed fast, and we did.
But as I'm hearing, actually, you're in the business of problem solving.
Absolutely, we spend most of our time problem solving. My unit processes serial publications in all languages, all formats, whether it's print, microfilm, microfiche, CD-ROM, DVD, electronic resources. We do it all. But I have a specialist I basically have 2 specialists who handle a lot of problem solving, and then I have other staff who basically do check-in and processing. And we do a lot of work, and there's a lot expected of that staff. And we have to keep it moving. It can't ever not get done.
The microfiche, is that really something that's being used still?
We don't get as much as we used to, but yeah, we get the SRI fiche, we get some big fiche collections still.
Okay. Well, how about diskettes?
No more diskettes.
Those are good.
We finally don't check in diskettes anymore. I haven't seen one in a long time.
Because we have this big a list with all those ancient things.
Oh, sure. Oh, we still have some microcard holdings here. We do. I mean, I used to be able to show you where they were.
Well, I wanted to take them out, but they told me no.
No, you can't have those. That's ancient technology.
Oh, okay.
That's like cuneiform at this point.
So where do they use them in Africa? No, in the States.
Yeah.
In the States.
Yeah, we still have microprint. We have a lot of microfilm. A lot of microfilm.
Lovely.
Yeah, we're now slowly switching to digitized microfilm
Okay.
for some of the big stuff, but we did a lot of microfilm.
Okay, well, they're in.
And I haven't used microfilm in years, really, honestly. for my own purposes,
I hadn't heard about it for years until I came over for
Yeah.
Sweats. and
See,
I
oh,
said,
yes,
"Whoa."
Sweats does it all.
It's Sweats does it all.
Yes, and they've been around a long time, so,
They have, 1901.
Mhm.
That's a long time.
yes.
Anyway,
Yep, so yes, I mean, we really, this is not unfamiliar, and we would hop in here and get to work.
obviously, this is ordering.
Absolutely.
Something you don't do. But what we put in there is a lot of information,
Mhm.
swiftly accessible.
Mhm.
So that's what I think, my thought was, if we have a lot of information on one page, so you don't have to go from there to here to there, that saves a lot of time.
Right.
It's there accessible.
Right. Or if you give us a snapshot and it leads us to the next thing. I mean, we're used to thinking that way, we're used to working that way. What was I just thinking? One of the things we've been sort of dealing with conceptually with the way we look at our work, on the one hand, we're task-based, but on the other hand, we have, because of the kind of staffing that we have, we try not to hand stuff off. So we if this person can start the process and handle it to the end, that's really good. Like, we have receiving staff who handle the invoicing as well. They get the preliminary invoicing stuff started, gets finished off in the invoice unit, gets approved, and it's out of here. We have 24-hour turnaround time on a lot of our priority invoices, where receiving staff are handling the invoice, and then just a little bit left for the invoice unit to do, and then it's out of here. So that's really our model that we've been working on for efficiency for a long time, and it works well for us. But what we do is a mix. So, for instance, what we've been wrestling with is the concept of dealing with a system that's more task-oriented, task list-oriented. So, for instance, you have this group of staff who are responsible for working on this, and some of the vendors are like that because you have publisher groups. So, like, this group deals with this publisher, this team deals with that publisher. That works for us a little bit, but in the long run, no. To make things very, very specifically task-based. So, like, if I had Chubway come look in here, I would expect her to be able to look at this and say, okay, this is exactly what I need, this is the information that I need, and I'm gonna go ahead and place the order, whether I do it in Sweatswise, whether I send an email to our team to place the order. This is how I want it done. Boom, I'm out of here, I've done it in Voyager, and I've moved on.
Mhm.
I expect one person to do the whole thing. I wouldn't have somebody do searching here and then hand it off to somebody else.
No,
And I think that's a concept that's becoming very popular.
A to Z, all.
Yeah, we're really A to Z. Carol likes to call it soup to nuts. We have staff at an appropriate staffing level who can handle that kind of work. We don't hand off, or we don't have students start something and then hand it off to a dedicated staff person. A lot of places do that. The other thing is, I like actually the way you've done this because you have the broader and the narrower, but they're in the same place. I mean, we've been really wrestling with the concept that, what we're doing is not a discovery tool. In acquisitions, we have a problem, it's very specific, I need to get in there and I need to take care of that problem and I need to move on. Yes, there are times when I need to see the big picture, which is great because it's right at the front screen. Big picture is right there. But I'm looking for a very specific thing right now to take care of this problem so this faculty member can get on with his research. So don't make me go through 10 screens to get to that one title I need to get to.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. But this is nice because, I can get to everything I need here, but it's not a huge display. It's nicely proportioned. The screen is nicely proportioned.
Yes.
There's not too much junked up in here, and it's not all this text that my eyes are gonna go crazy with looking at the text. It's very nicely laid out, and trust me, we've been looking at a lot of this.
No, we used what Leonardo da Vinci
Uh-huh.
described in it's a golden circle or something, and it's apparently the best way to divide
Interesting.
things up. It's 1.618, and
Uh-huh.
1 stands to, and that's how we
No, it's
portion the
very
screen.
easy on the eye. I have
It's
to
easy
say.
on the eye. People
Because we've
like
been really looking at that lately. I don't know if you're familiar with Osemeter de Livre, a French company, a French bookseller.
No.
They were here not too long ago, and I had never looked at their website. We just don't have much with them. In fact, they were here right around the time you were here last time. And they must use the Da Vinci layout or whatever, because just going to their website, I was like, wow, this is so easy to see. compared to
Yeah.
some of the stuff we've been wrestling with, which is very dense and the type is very small. And, you know, Voyager's tiny type. We don't need anything smaller. We're all getting older. We want stuff that we can see.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, the layout's very nice.
It's made for accessibility also,
Yeah.
so.
No, it's very crisp and but friendly and
The publication format there, that section, I'm a little confused, this might be just me, but that,
this one.
why below that, the chemical engineering?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that that's not a publication format, right?
No, that's the problem always when you use real wording.
Oh,
But this is all just
That's just
dummy
part of it.
layout,
yeah.
yeah.
But that would be that you print or
Yeah, it
something.
comes out of the
Yeah.
database, so
Okay.
somebody else looks at that and makes sure that's all correct.
Okay.
yeah.
That's something that goes beyond my knowledge. I just make,
But you're just,
The screens.
it's just a
and-
mock-up.
I just gonna tell them what I want,
Yeah.
because I hear it from you, what
Right.
you want. So
Right.
I'm just translating for them, and then we test it again, if we translated it correctly. So, yeah, please don't look at the wording, because it's the.
No, that's, yeah, no, I really like the layout, it's very nice.
If you would click on a title,
Mm-hmm,
you would go to another screen.
mm-hmm.
Could you do that for me and tell me what your... Aha, that's interesting. Thanks for that. And we can discuss that back in
No.
Holland.
Well, I just like. to
Now,
click
why
on
did she do that?
stuff. Just because there was no.
There you go. Just
no
because.
mental forethought. I just like to click. I was highlighted. I'll
It was
click
a
there.
blue.
No, excellent.
That's right. It was a blue one. there was no real intent.
So,
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Again, I like the layout. That's. I do have to say, this is an improvement on what currently SweatsWise does. Because you tend to have to hop back and forth and try and figure out, oh wait, this is part of a package, but I just clicked on that link, now I gotta go back. Didn't I just look at that one? You know, so it's a little fuzzy, you get a little, especially, I get interrupted all the time, so, you know, if I get interrupted while I'm doing something like this, and there's too much hopping, I'm done.
yeah, that's what, I saw that, and then we sort of came up with the flip and click
Uh-huh.
functionality, which you'll see in a short while. And we just hope that indeed, if you do something, you're interrupted, and you handle that,
Yep.
and then you come back, you still know what you, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do,
Yeah,
and you
you're
can
still in the
continue.
right place, and, yeah. Because that is a problem. And again, you know, I mean, we're a pretty big place, we still have a lot of staff, but other places where you don't have a lot of staff, and, you know, you're the person who's gotta get through the stuff,
Exactly,
it's important.
exactly. So that's what we thought too.
Should work for everybody, and I guess that's the other lesson we're learning too. You know, it's gotta work, whether you're a smaller library, whether you're public, whether you're academic, it's gotta work, whether you're larger or smaller. There is a middle ground. You're not gonna tailor stuff specifically for a large research library or for a small public library. You're not gonna be able to tailor it for everybody. But if you give enough middle ground,
Exactly.
we can all work with that. You know, we can get over ourselves and do what we need to do, really. You know.
And it's sort of customizable too. to a
Right,
certain
and that's,
extent.
yeah, well, I'm, as I said to you before, I'm pretty much, you know, whatever comes out of the boxes, you know, I don't tend to customize a whole lot.
No, not many people do.
You know, other people like Chugway, she would probably go nuts and change all kinds of stuff and do all kinds of stuff. But, you know, and that's great for people who really like to do that. I don't. If you tell me the colors of this, that's the way they stay. You know.
Most people do.
Uh-huh.
What we see is, in the current SweatsWise, you can also customize colors and stuff like
See,
that.
I didn't even know that.
There you go.
I like the red. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Well, I only came across two people who did it. Who
Really?
customized. One made it pink with flowers.
Oh, really? See, yeah. See, I just don't go for that. It's a work thing. You know, you know, flowers on a work thing just bother me.
There you go. It was somebody in Spain.
See, well, they live in a sunny climate.
That's probably it was Barcelona.
There you go. Yeah. But no, I mean, seriously, again, you know, this is a product for people who work in an industry and a profession, and it looks professional. And it's dignified, but yet a little fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is a very good impression. I mean, that's good.
So that's your impression of what you've
Yeah.
seen so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's really good news, because it takes such a long time to get the good look
Yeah.
and feel.
Yeah, no, I really like the way it's broken up. Because again, we're having a lot of practice with that lately, and, you know, this tells my eye where it needs to go. You know, I don't have to sit here and go, oh God, what does this say? And do I have to look at this one? No, I can see, I either want this one, or I want this one, or I want this one. If I wanna look at the packages, I can do that easily. It's, you know, it's right there, in a very clear, delineated layout, which is nice.
So we hope this will work
Yeah.
for everybody.
Well, you know, it should, really, it should, because I think most people, you know, we tend to sort of compensate for whatever we have to work with, you know. You tell me this is the way SweatsWise looks, okay, great, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do to get the job done. If it's a little bit easier to work with, then I'm gonna come back more often.
Yeah.
If it's friendlier on my eye, I'm gonna come back more often. If I know the information in there is, I can trust it, it's valuable, it's helpful, it's easy to get to, I'm gonna come back,
That's what we're hoping.
I'm gonna do it.
You know, you're the first customer client in the whole wide world of SweatsWise who's ever tested this, so if everybody has the same feedback as you,
That's very exciting.
you're number one.
I haven't even.
We like to be number one.
I haven't even played with it yet.
Really? Really? Wow.
He just showed it to me on the way here.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's very nice.
So I hope everybody has the same positive feedback on it.
Yeah.
Although, you know, which would mean that we don't change much and then go on from here.
Right. Well, but I think you have a structure that works, you know. You know, it's just, it's reasonable, it's very nice. You know, we live and die by some of this stuff.
The license and the.
And the, you know, this is how you get there from here, and this is how you get to the back file, and this is how you get this, and, you know.
That's something that we didn't have before, the free notes.
Yes.
We have that now? No, we
I didn't know that either, but
it must
PO.
be hidden very, very nicely.
So we're really deep inside the system.
This is very nice.
Yeah. So it's just a screenshot, so it doesn't
Yeah,
work.
no, that's all right, but no, again, I mean, there is some scrolling, because it is a longer screen. I mean, this to me is like a legal size instead of an 8.5 by 11.
Now, you wouldn't have to scroll. What happens if you click licenses here, it'll
Oh.
scroll down for you.
Oh, okay.
Go right there.
Okay, good. So, you know, I mean, it's just very clear, it's a very nice layout, it's, again, my eye goes where it needs to go.
Okay. that's
Which
good
is,
news.
again, a source of frustration lately, because, you know, we end up wasting a lot of time looking at fields that we don't have to look at to find information that's not there.
Exactly.
And we just don't have time to do that. I mean, our staff can't be looking at tab, and there's nothing there, but we had to look, because there's no way to tell us that I need to go there, or I shouldn't go there, and this lays everything out.
Yeah, it would be lovely if somebody would work 3-4 times with this and then go, okay, I just click here, 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 and I know where
Yeah.
everything is.
No, this is very nice.
There's nothing there.
No, but that's all right.
Yeah, but that would be.
Yeah, no, very nice. I mean,
Is this also information that will be useful to you?
I could see that it would be, right, we don't really pay much attention to table of contents. But although, on the other hand, you know, a lot of times when we get a problem, or a problem ticket, and of course, once something has become a ticket, the clock is ticking in the queue. So, a lot of times we have patrons cite the article. So if we can recreate where they ran into problems, I mean, it looks to us like we should have access to subscriptions paid, everything looks fine. I mean, we really don't want to bother folks at Sweats until we have to, until we've done some work ahead of time. We don't just contact them and say, oh, you know, patron reported this isn't working, go figure it out. We do a lot of work ahead of time to really see what the problem is. If everything looks fine, what we really try to do is recreate, how did that patron run into a problem?
Yeah.
Did they not go in the right way? Is our link broken? If I go out and come in a different way, does it work? Because that happens a lot of times. So if they give us, a lot of times they'll give us the name of an article rather than some more generic information about the journal. So if we could try to find the article, or, you know, it would help for me to not have to jump through 6 issues to figure out, oh, by the way, this is where the article is. I mean, we would probably use table of contents for that.
So is the TOC searchable in this
That
case?
was going to be my next question.
Okay.
That would be excellent if you have a search box here. You could just put in a query and then it'll go there, so you can see if it's there and where.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and some places really do live and die by table of contents because they do a lot more article ordering than we do. We don't do a lot of article-specific ordering, but some places do instead of buying the journal.
Right.
So,
This is basically as far as it goes.
Yeah.
So there's more functionality on the page, but it doesn't go any further. What you could obviously do is, orders works, but what you could basically do is renew, claim, or cancel in orders right away there. So you don't have to look for that.
now for login purposes, are you keeping the ability to limit folks who say you only want them to have search
Yeah.
access for
Roles
logins?
and
Okay.
authority. Yes.
Okay, because that is very important, because we have a variety of staff who use this, and only very few staff could do renew or cancel, pretty much me. So-
Then you'd be the only
and I'm
super
the
user.
administrator, and I really don't want anyone else in, so.
We have super users, basic users, administrators,
Okay,
and whatever your role, you get that authority on.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just don't see this.
okay, yeah,
It just won't be there.
they don't even know that it's.
No, they
not
won't
there.
know what they're missing.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so to keep everything clean, you'd see a lot. But
Right.
let's say somebody who has less rights
Right,
would see less.
Okay.
It would be even cleaner, even less.
okay.
So this is your current order screen?
This would be, that's what we're planning to make, yeah, so. These are the orders you have.
Right.
And then you have claims there, or if you gotta renew it, it'll show renew within so much time, and this will hold the information to, why, is there anything you see?
Yeah.
What would you like
Please
to
let me
do?
know.
No, this is, you're looking at one particular order here? You're looking at the archives of, I know what that word is, but I,
Otolaryngology.
yeah, I think it's hearing disorders.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I
Well,
thought
it's,
it.
my cousin is actually an ONT, and she's a head and neck, it's head and neck, ear, nose, and throat, some combination right here.
Yeah, it has to do with the hearing or some
It's
audiology.
head and neck
or-
surgery in Mediterranean Turkish Syrian community.
Yeah, but I can never say it. for
Right,
some
yeah,
reason.
it is a really crazy word, it must be Greek.
But the one thing that I see is, now, the details below are all related to that one particular set of archives right now? Or is this a,
Well,
because
this,
I'm a little,
yeah,
It
again,
probably with a regular order screen, like for our order, wouldn't look that complicated, you
No.
probably just did this to populate it.
So this-
exactly, and this
Yeah.
is all bit dummy. It's
Right,
just to,
so
for
you
the look and
probably
feel.
only see one or maybe two.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
would you retain, because it's different across different vendor systems, would you retain, how would you show older orders, for example, in SweatsWise now, when you look at, say, renewal history for invoicing, you can see previous invoices
Yes.
and how they were paid. Like a wire transfer to the publisher or check to the publisher, you can see that information. With other vendor databases, you can actually click on something that will show you this was your 2011 order, this was your 2010 order. I mean, how do you see that?
Well, that will probably be under insights, but we could also put it
Uh-huh.
here.
I'm just curious, just because,
Good. I'm gonna write it down, because you would like that to be.
well, depending on how you track our orders, I mean, we can see the information in SweatsWise now, it's just, I guess it's not specifically tied to renewal year, and I'm not sure it needs to be, but, as long as the history is in there somehow, like, for instance, our order for 2010 was print only, and then online became available, so for 2011, the order's print plus online, and we can see that clearly, so we can say, oh, okay, our order should have been renewed for print plus online for 2012, I wonder what happened, why don't we have electronic access?
Right,
So it would be nice if that were an easy display to see.
super.
Oh.
We'll make sure that's in then, because that sounds logical.
Mhm.
To me, like a format dashboard. So this is right here is implying, and the data's fake, but
Yeah.
that for this title, all of these items have been purchased these different access methods
Exactly.
have been purchased.
But it'll probably be like this.
Right, they're all
That's what
associated
was
with
throwing
this
me off.
particular order.
No, this is a big one. But was that the thing you were?
Yeah, for some reason I didn't realize we were on a title. I was assuming this was your sort of the My Order screen where you're supposed to be able to see a list of all of your titles.
All right.
So I was perceiving it as a different screen that we were at.
Okay, because the flow was I search on the title, I click on the title, I get the details
And then
on the
she
title.
went to the orders of the title.
that title.
So that's new navigation that I wasn't necessarily used to. Or at least it was placed in a different area
Yeah.
that I wasn't used to. So I was used to tracking the old
Exactly.
Sweatswise
Right.
So that's all
flow,
other
where
people
this
were running
makes
too.
better. I mean, this works better, but it took me some time to.
It's good that you're saying this because everybody will probably run into
They
this.
will.
Yeah.
So go, but I want to see my orders. I don't want to
Right.
just do a catalog search and find out generic bibliographic information. I want to find my. But if you do, you have some way for this? Is this faceted for you to know right off the bat that you have an order for this? If you do just a regular title search, or you just go to this point and click on orders.
So
and see
in the
data.
catalog, when you're searching the catalog and you find and there's a title that you're looking at, is there a notification? Because in ebooks right now,
Yeah.
with our ebooks catalog, if you purchase an ebook and you go back to that ebook,
Mhm.
we'll tell you that you've purchased this ebook already as sort of a warning, so to
Mhm. Oh,
speak.
it's nice to know.
So in the journals catalog, in this, is there going to be a sort of a warning
Absolutely.
of sorts?
Absolutely.
Like
all those
some
things
little
are in.
icon or little flag or little.
Well, so that in a quick overview,
Uh-huh.
you immediately know, oh, this is where I have to go. We have all these colors and things.
To
and
prevent
names.
duplicate ordering and things like
Exactly.
that.
All those things are in, and also, of course, we have warnings. If there's no possibility you duplicate.
Oh, this is very nice. I have to say, I like it what you've developed.
Well, this is maybe 3% of what we've got.
Yeah,
so.
but no, I mean, just overall, so far from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I
this
really
the
like
rest
it.
will be extrapolated.
Yeah.
You know, it will be
Great.
this kind of.
This is a good
setup.
model, I have to say. I
Oh,
like
that's good to hear.
it.
Yeah, like it's-
Did you like it also?
Yeah.
You didn't look at it and go, what are they thinking?
I said, why isn't it out already?
Yeah, right, exactly. We
Yeah.
need this.
Yeah, we need this.
Yeah.
We need this.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I'm really pleased that, you know, we like our vendors, we love our vendors, you know, we really rely on them for everything. And I know vendors really take a beating a lot of times. I mean, I see people on Serial List who say, well, I didn't even bother with our vendor. I just went ahead and contacted the publisher myself because this needed to get resolved and blah, blah, blah. You know, I just hate it when I see people do that. It's like, you know, you're here for a reason. You know, we really, really, really need our agents in between us and the rest of the world. And, you know, I like it when I see that you're kind of on the forefront right out there, trying to develop stuff to make our lives easier and to make stuff work, because I like this much better than some other things I've seen.
Oh, good. For the camera? She likes it much better than the other things she said. No, but
This is very nice.
it's, I just hope it's going to work for everybody the same way. What we also have is translation, so that's less
Mhm,
important for you, but
Yeah.
for example, in Japan,
Yeah, I would think.
where people,
Mhm.
this all be in Japanese.
Yeah, great.
So it's quite a big thing we're doing.
Oh, it is, it's huge. I mean, really. I mean, we tend to forget, you know, we have our, I still tend to think of the way we do business with Sweats as primarily domestic US and
Mhm.
UK business. But I have to remind myself that it's Sweats and Zeitliner now. And you have a much broader
28
global
countries.
focus. So,
Spanish,
you really do.
South America,
Yeah.
we even have Greece.
Good, somebody needs to get this because they're so hard to deal with. Can we order Greek cereals for you? Oh, boy, getting the Greek stuff is tough.
Yeah.
You have an office there?
I believe we do.
We do, actually.
Yeah. And they still pay us, I believe. But they're broke. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
broke.
well, see, oh, that's good. Paying the sweat
So
bills.
we're probably very important to them. So there's one more screen, that's a
Okay.
catalog screen.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
it's a default catalog screen. It's
Mhm.
all totally made for you
Mhm.
also. Once
Mhm.
you log in, this will be just only messages for you and stuff for you. I don't expect anybody to really be here a lot. Most people just go in, look,
Uh-huh.
do their job.
Sure, sure.
But you know, you make some default catalog screen.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, something like this. Your latest searches and stuff like that.
Mhm. Which is, you know, it's right up there with what I see other folks doing. I mean, you know,
So anything we're missing so far? anything?
Trying to think. We have not used SweatsWise for claiming directly in your system or ordering in the system, because we find it's just not as efficient as sending an email to the team.
Hmm.
I mean, is that something that you would like to see change, or, I mean, do you prefer if we funnel everything through here, or,
I think that's the ultimate goal. I think preferably, overall, we'd like to utilize the system for that sort of
Right.
ordering processes, and I think that's part of, because I was asking him questions about how our catalog's gonna be designed to be able to search and find materials. So if that process of searching and finding was easier, would it be something that would, I guess, lean you away from sending the email to get a title, to placing it yourself?
It's
or-
not so much the searching and finding that's the issue. It's, we just, I mean, and maybe it's just the way SweatsWise feeds into what you all do on a day-to-day basis, what your customer service teams do. We just don't find that the orders are handled the same way.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've ordered and claimed very specifically. I do this periodically in different vendor systems to test sort of what the response is. And I just found that it just, I don't know if something happens to the claim, I don't know if something happens to the order, it goes somewhere into a file and somebody doesn't pick it up, or they don't, it's not visible, it's just not appearing. And I find that I have to then go back and contact the customer service person and say, okay, I sent this through SweatsWise and I don't see any action, can you follow up?
So it's like you're sending something in the
Right.
system, and then you're still doing the follow-up
Right, 'cause it's just
with a
not-
person anyway.
It's just not going into the next natural part of their
Progression,
workflow.
yeah.
And I don't know if that's, you know, is there a dead end somewhere in SweatsWise? I don't know, I mean, because your customer service people are fabulous. So, you know, I mean, is there something kind of unplugged in the system that
Right.
they're not picking up
A
the
disconnect
file
or
or whatever?
something.
I mean, if that worked more seamlessly, yeah, we would do it.
Well, that's good, because the next thing I'd be asking you to look into would be the claim.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to do that. I mean, we generally tend not to do a lot of claiming in vendor onlines just because we still have to do it in Voyager. And we do it by EDI for Sweats, for the
Yeah.
big vendors. We do it by EDI, so it's really pretty much a seamless process as far
Yeah,
as
so
we're concerned.
the claim goes electronically from the Voyager system into our SweatsWise queue.
Right,
Exactly, a lot of big, yeah.
Right.
it's-
Yeah, a lot of the larger
Yeah,
institutions have that, and larger libraries.
Yeah.
exactly.
so, but yeah, I mean, you know, we could certainly do that because, I mean, we'd still do a claim in Voyager just so we had a record that we had followed up on something. But, I mean, it's not hard to do a claim in SweatsWise. It's, you know, it's not difficult, it's not tricky, it's not, you know, it's just, we find we have to do it in our system, so we do it there and then,
Okay,
and we don't even send out printed claims anymore. If we have to do, we do the EDI first claim because there's generally no text that has to go along. It's just, this is the issue we need, here you go. But when we have a second claim or something that's more problematic, we have to have text, and that gets stripped out in the EDI process. So we do that as a printed claim, but we don't generate print anymore. We stopped that a couple years ago. We actually generate PDFs, which we attach to an email template, and then we email them to the customer service team, and they take care of them.
Hmm.
So,
yeah.
and they care about each and every one.
Don't they?
They really do.
Of course they
They're so
do.
good.
If they didn't, I'd be pretty upset.
But they're so good. I mean, you know, you know, somewhere along the line, you do expect claims to get lost and, you know,
Mhm.
fall off and that, but they really do. I mean, it's so cute.
So if you were able to, at that second stage or that second level, now when you generate the PDF
Mhm.
and you do that, is that generating it from Voyager? Or is it just, you're just sort of creating a template document that you're generating a PDF with, so it's not really tracked in Voyager at that?
No, it's
at
tracked
that
in
point?
Voyager. It's
It is,
actually, I
okay.
believe it is the raw file from Voyager gets dumped into an online PDF of our actual printed claim form
Okay.
and goes into, gets
You can
attached
go ahead
to
and
the
sit here. I'll take this seat. You can sit over here.
This is Cho Pei Wan.
Hi.
She is my e-resources
Hi.
specialist.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I can look at the screen on this side.
And in fact, why don't you come over here?
You can.
Because I've been already playing, so,
Oh,
I'm
but
sorry,
now I'm
put
right
you
on
in
the
a hot
camera.
seat.
You can wave to the camera.
That's right.
There's a camera monitoring, taping them on. Let's see if it's still on the scene. Yeah, it's still good. So we can just see the mouse go and click, and so I can talk to the team over back in Holland about what's just happened, and we can discuss it. And then
Okay.
do or make improvements or not, or just go on like this. So this is the home page.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do is make a new, I don't know how much you know, we're trying to make a new Sweatswise. And what we have here is the order process from the catalog. So we wanted to know whether or not we're on the right track. Because if we're not right now, there's a flaw right now, it'll be this big in a few months. So we're going to try. So we're going to try to fix it as soon as possible, and that's where you come in.
Okay.
And like I told before, you have to clobber us or me. If you see something that's not correct, just say,
I hate it.
I hate it.
You
What
can
were
kick
you
them.
thinking? How can you do this?
If you start kicking though, I'm gonna film it.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's all right. So be brutal.
Okay. I'll be very, very tough.
Good.
She is. She has a reputation for being tough.
Oh, okay. That's how we learn. So, shall I start?
Okay.
This is, well, you obviously have seen this all. This is the home page where you come in, and you see your name is Betty Johnson at this moment. But of course, if you log in, because you have to log in with your password and your username, it'll recognize you and know where you were, how your screen looks, and where you left off, but also what your rights are and your authorities are. So what you may or may not see. That's only what you're going to work with. So that's dependent on the role, on the rights you have. Now, if you would just take the mouse, if you want, and look at the screen and tell me what you think of it, without clicking anywhere.
Actually, I think it's too much.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I log in on your website, sometimes I just need to know our order status, or I need to search a new title to see if Swiss is available. So when I log on your website, I want to do a title search or order search. So actually, for me, I don't need to know the renew progress. Maybe this should be in somewhere else, not on your main page. It's my opinion.
Good. Good. What would you
Sound
like to
like
see
you?
here?
It's very beautiful. But there are too much information. I have no idea
We're
which one I have
minimalists
to
here.
start.
But what would you see? Only this? Only the search screen, for example, like Google?
Actually, if I see this, I will ignore the top. I will just see here, see what's this. Where can I start?
Okay. Okay, very good.
Uh-huh. That's my opinion.
Good, good. Go on.
So actually, that's good because if we, I mean, like you said, the C word. I don't know if you want to tell her that.
No, well, go on.
It's customizable.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So for example, maybe my password, my login would have this, but yours would have a lot less, and you can customize that. You would make it less busy.
Maybe you would
Forget it.
only have a search screen here.
Yeah, actually, I don't need to see the picture. I just need
Right.
to some.
Exactly.
Her focus is different. She doesn't need to see bigger pictures.
Exactly.
So you could see my orders
Actually,
area or something.
actually, I can see the picture before the first page. I don't need to see the picture. I have to look for someone else I need. If I want to look picture, maybe you can have some icon overlay, and I can click it and I can see the picture. But not for the first page or main page. It's my opinion.
But what would you like to see on the first page? Would you have an idea about that?
Such as the new order search, your order status, or something else, or claim, something
Okay.
like that.
Where you can click on and then go there?
Yeah.
Okay, super. Okay. Now,
She's very focused.
very good, very good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
good.
for example, this renew progress, maybe you can put a phrase, renew progress, and when you click on the renew progress, you'll go to here. You will see the picture.
Understand.
Uh-huh.
Just make everything smaller,
Yeah.
less clutter.
It's too big,
It's too much.
so I cannot focus
Yes.
on it.
Yes. But you didn't have that problem, right?
No, because again, the focus of what I do with the Sweats account is very different from
Exactly.
what Chopay does. Her
Mhm.
searching is very direct, her research is very directed, but I have to look at vendor performance overall, which she doesn't have to worry about.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yes, I would keep this, but she does
This,
not.
For you, it's non-information.
actually, this information I think is good, but I think there are, actually you can, this seems like a statistics analysis. So for me, and I would prefer you to put a statistic, your analysis, some phrase like that, and when I click on it, then I can see the whole information.
Exactly.
That would be easier.
Exactly.
But I have to say, it's really, really beautiful.
There you go.
Well, at least it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's
You
beautiful,
don't look at it,
very
but-
nice.
Okay, thank you, but now we have a little thing, is that this does sort of work. So are you in the process of ordering it all or
Yeah.
looking up? Would you, for this example, because it's a dummy and it's a prototype, it's a demo,
Mhm.
and we're trying to see if we're on the right track. So if you would, for me, type in something in the search field and then click either enter or the little magnifying glass,
Mhm.
and then give me your feedback on the results of that. That would really help me out.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can search anything?
You can type
it-
anything.
it-
You won't
be-
get anything.
No, you can type anything you want.
I cannot get anything?
Yeah, you can.
You'll get a result, but.
You always get a result.
Try this.
It's a dummy.
It's dumb.
Well, it's a prototype. Yeah.
So actually it's keyword search or all content, or it seems like it's keyword search.
What are you thinking?
Too much.
Oh.
It seems like there are different kind of sources, ebooks, journals, package journal. Actually, it's journals. Let's see. Verify results. Application type. If I want to search just journal or ebooks, I can see anywhere to refine this search.
Yes, you could click
Let's-
ebook.
You mean I have to click? No, let's click all contents.
Well, I think the headings there, they're just generic fake, so there would be an area for ebooks, right,
Mhm.
on the tab on the left, and
Exactly,
then a tab for
because
journal.
that's what you would like there? Is that something you would like to see there? So ebook, journal?
More and more she would.
I think she would,
She's
wouldn't-
getting more and more into ebooks.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Not just e-journal.
Because when we do
I need
a
to talk
title
to her about
search,
that
we have
later
to
then.
focus on its journals or
Yes.
ebooks.
Exactly.
So we have to, actually, when I do a research, I just want to refine to I want to search a specific publication type. So I don't need to do the keyword search to get different kind of publication type. So in this case, I prefer to just search for journals or ebooks. But the publication type here, I cannot see it's journal or books, so I cannot refine this search.
Understand, yeah.
Yeah, because the 47 results, I cannot browse each title to see what I want.
It's actually quite weird that it's not in there, I must admit.
Uh-huh.
Because now how are you going to distinguish between all these in a simple way?
Uh-huh.
So that's noted.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you think, did you say it's too much?
For me, it's too much.
Could you point to the information that would not be useful for you?
Oh, let me see. I'm just look for each title. What's this? Let me see. It seems to me this is all there. Doesn't work.
What do you expect if you click on author? What do you expect to see?
See if this author has another publications.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
It's cross-reference.
For cross-reference, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
when in fact you've kind of done some authority work there, right? Some authority control for the name. You're
I
giving us
suppose so,
different-
but
Yeah.
Different versions of the name in case we need to do other browsing.
exactly.
Yeah, especially it's highlighted in blue, so I think I can click on it to
Exactly.
get the other information.
Mhm.
And all it does is give you a tooltip with more authors.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Too much.
Are you thinking too much, or do you think it's too much?
Actually, it's good. You can provide us with all of the information. But for this screen, it's too much, and I have to review each line. What's the list? So, and I found that there are different supplies for these subscription options. So.
What was that?
So what's the difference between this and this? The last two.
There is no difference between those two.
But how come you put two lines over here?
Well, it's a
It
product.
doesn't
People are so literal.
No, very good.
I told
Go
you
on.
I'm very tough.
Good, good, good. Go on.
But theoretically, there could be multiple versions. There could be some different kind of holdings or access or
Probably
license
the
requirement
price or
between those
s-
two. Yeah.
Multi-site.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But how would you think this would be better for you? Because you say it's so much, I can't really focus well.
Yeah, actually I cannot focus on it because there's too much information over here.
What is the information you're looking for?
Actually, I'm just looking for what purchase options we can have
So,
for the specific supplier.
so you would like to actually see these collapsed with less space? You'd like to see a more linear display? instead of the boxier display.
Yeah, sometimes we'll order for some specific access provider. For example, the Nature. Maybe we just need to purchase from Nature. So maybe I just need to see what option does the Nature offer. So in this case, I have to look from top to the bottom to see each line. And so I think it seems too much for me.
Okay, so single lines would be
Yeah.
easier. Okay, that display will come later.
Or you can just put you can sort by purchase option. For example, full access. You can just put full access. Just put one line, and then list each supplier for full access.
So have them grouped.
Exactly, by,
Then, for example, full access. You can see how many suppliers.
Is there a way that would be kind of, I don't want to say sortable, but for example, if we clicked on here, all the full access would group together
what's-
alphabetically,
yeah.
and then the limited access would
well,
also.
that's what's happening now. So
Okay,
these are indeed, over here, you can group them on options.
I think she was saying just 2 lines that say full access is unlimited access. Then you would click
Right.
on full access,
And
or
see-
maybe
oh.
hover over full access or something like that, and then
And see
be
the list.
shown the specific publishers that provide the full
Right.
access.
Instead of everything open.
Right, so
and
you're kind of following a step process rather than here's all the information, what do you want out of this information?
Okay.
So sort of
Whereas-
guiding them.
Would that also be something you?
I actually prefer this display.
Exactly.
Because I can look and say, oh, okay, I want full access, and I know that I need the John Wiley access, and I'll just hop right in there. But again, she does a lot more hunting around for options and research and to inform how to best place the order or,
But anyway,
her
we need
focus is a
to,
bit
we
different.
need to provide.
Well, yeah, if you could.
Yeah, we have these 3 icons on top where you can just choose what kind of display.
Mhm.
Normally, I prefer the format is on the first column because we always order by different formats. For example, online only or print box online. Then I will see and if we have full access or not, or we have to order big files.
Okay.
I think that's how our system is now. The
Mhm.
first column shows the format rather than the option.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is the reason we do these tests, to get this type of information out. So it's,
Yeah, so when I see the first column, I have no idea full access or limited access, and I will look for what does this offer? Is offer includes print or just for online only? So I have to think about that. So if the format is on the first line, and I can pick up which I want first, and then I will double check if we have full access or not.
exactly. What are you thinking now?
Actually, I don't do the license, so actually I have no ideas about the license information.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think I can make any suggestions on this.
We don't currently use What'sWise to track license agreements. I take it you'll be including that feature here
Just
as well for folks who do.
Yeah, we have that partially now,
Mhm.
or we have that now. but I guess this is gonna expand on it a little further. Because we do have pre-populated licenses,
Right.
so, and then the ability to edit and manage those licenses to add your own
Right.
information. But this is just, it's gonna
be a little
alter
more
that,
interactive.
Yeah.
And for example, if we wanted to, say we needed to have a scanned copy of a license somewhere, would we be able to scan it and append it here?
We can do that now.
If we needed to, we can do that now?
Yeah.
We just don't, I mean, I think we have a database or something.
What do you use to manage your licenses now? Is it through?
Well, theoretically, we translate them into Meridian as our
Okay.
ERMS. So, but I think we actually have a separate database or site where we actually scan copies of our signed license agreements and keep them on a server. So I know there's been talk over the years in the industry about how to manage that in one place and just do it better and, you know, have more standardized license agreements and things like that. I know when Tina was at Sweats, for example, she really was a proponent of that, so. We just like to not be doing things in 3 different places. We're really not good at keeping up.
That makes sense.
So, but if you have that option for folks who really would really rely on Sweats for that service, that support, to have a unified place for their license agreements.
And the
Great.
one vendor.
Exactly.
What do you think of this screen?
Access information is not very helpful. For example, here, IP username and password, what does that mean? So does that mean we can use IP or password?
I think so. But if you don't understand this, we need to clarify it.
Yeah, actually you need to clarify for it. And how about the URL? It's not provided here.
The what?
URL, the website, the
The
typo.
product URL.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Or finding URLs. Well, we do a lot of, unfortunately, Chokeway has to validate a lot of the URLs when she sends a ticket to eSupport, for example, for it to go on to the next phase in the workflow, which is to cataloging for them to activate in SFX and to have the target come up in our OPAC. She needs to have a validated URL. We didn't used to have to do that, now we do. So she spends a lot of time trying to find a valid URL for a product. And she does start out in vendor onlines to do that. So, and that's one thing we have said before about SweatsWise, we have not been able to really go there religiously to get product URLs that we can use to pass on so that we can
Publisher URLs or?
publish
The
URLs.
titles URL.
Oh, the titles URL.
Yeah.
Both publisher
Well,
and the
yeah.
titles URL.
Okay.
Sometimes because if I cannot find the titles URL on your database, and I have to look for the publisher's URL, and then to find the titles URL. So actually, if you can include the title URL and the publisher's URL, it would be good.
Okay.
You would
very
expect
helpful.
that here?
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah, actually, because since you order for us, you have all of the information you have.
Probably.
Right. So when I get on your website, I can get all of the information. You already put over there,
Yeah.
so I don't need to take time to do the investigation.
Great, because that's something we're trying to solve.
Yeah, and that would be helpful because, and I think you encourage us to use your website, right? So you have to provide more information to encourage us to look on your website.
You're so right.
Yeah.
So we'll provide that over here then. And how would you want that, as a link or just as a copy?
A link.
A link. Okay.
Yeah.
And you would click that link?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And it would open in a new screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Do that as often as possible.
Really?
You really do, oh, yes.
I've heard that
Yeah.
elsewhere as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Have you noted that down then? Because I think that's very important. I noted it, but then I can
Yeah.
go for reference.
Because so far I do an investigation. I have to check SweatsWise, EBSCO, and her resource. I have to open all of the 3 vendors' website
Yeah.
to find all of the information I want.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I can get all of the information from these 3 websites. But I can get some information from,
Each different one.
Exactly,
yeah,
and you would
I can
preferably
get a
that.
different,
But if you can get all the information here, you wouldn't need.
yeah, and if you can put all of the information here and I just need to check sweats only. Sweats only, I don't need to open the other vendor's database.
But then here comes the magic question. What is all that information you need? I mean, do you have a list of, I need this? Because if you do, we could easily incorporate that.
Actually, you know, when I do the e-journal troubleshooting, the most important thing is what's our order status. For example, sometimes we order print subscription, but the print subscription includes free online. So I would, if I get some e-journal access problem, I'll check your website. What's our subscription option? Maybe at the first time we order print only, but later on we can get a free online with our print subscription, but we were not notified. So I have to double check your website to see what's our subscription option, what's our order status. So do you know what I mean? So I have to know what do we have? Do we have online subscription or not?
Yes.
If yes, what's our coverage? Can we access all of the back files? Or we can just access for specific years with our subscription. And then I needed to go to the your titles webpage to see if we have access. So what I want is our subscription option and our and coverage, access coverage, and the URL.
And you would want that here.
Yeah,
And then you would be happy with Swift.
yeah.
Too bad the camera can't see your face.
I'll go to your Facebook and to press.
Like. Oh, that's excellent information.
Actually, I never go to your Facebook
We
because
have,
I don't like. Unfortunately,
Do we
I don't
have it?
like. I think you should have.
I don't even know if we have a Facebook page.
We do.
We do, there you go.
I created ours, which is why I know.
Okay. Okay, super, super, thank you.
Okay.
And the rest is good?
I haven't seen
Okay,
Facebook.
not too bad.
Well, sometimes it does, you know, we like to see license requirements because a lot of times it really is helpful to know, for some bizarre reason, we might not be able to license this product.
Exactly.
Whatever bizarre constraints there might be, and they do happen, so.
Yeah, we have about 45 fields of the most commonly used license fields. And I can show you some of that later. But yeah, it'll be about 45, you know, ILL.
Right, all the standard,
stuff,
yeah, yep. Yep.
Oh, I also need to know if we need to register or not. Because sometimes we get sometimes we don't have access, and I'll contact Sweats or other vendors, and they told me, oh, you need to go to the publisher website to register.
Okay.
But sometimes I think it's not true, because as I know, some publishers and our subscription agent can help us to do register when they order an online subscription for us. So actually we don't need to go to register.
Okay.
So I need that information over here so I can double check if we need to register or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, for example, Cambridge University title, press title. And I contacted Sweats customer service, and they told me we need to register. But actually we have some other Cambridge titles. We don't need to register. So it's very confused. So if you can put all the information here, and before I contact your customer service, I can just check if we need this information or not.
Oh, so sort of a check. So if, say that you have 3 Cambridge titles and you ordered one title in 2008, you registered in 2008, but since you already registered in 2008, now that it's 2012, you're ordering another title, you don't need to register, and you would like to be
Right.
notified, is that?
Actually, as I know some some publishers, we will set up account. So when we order the new titles, we already have account.
Okay.
So we don't need to register again. But I found this, I remember it's Cambridge title, and
Mhm.
I contact with Sweats, and the Sweats customer service told me, oh, I can give you the registration information
Okay.
here, so you have to go to register. But I found that we order the other Cambridge titles, and we don't need to register.
Mhm.
So I think when the subscription agent, they order for us, they already help us to active our online access, so we don't need to register.
Okay, so I think is that, so basically you want Sweats to do the registration process of the titles for you for all titles, or just for?
Just for the ones that we subscribe to through Sweats.
Actually, I think if you can do the registration for us, you
Mhm.
can just do it, so we don't need to do it again.
So for all of the electronic titles,
Mm-hmm.
do the registration portion, and then I guess
Right.
notify here,
That would
okay?
be-
Because I think, because that would be an additional sort of workflow step, I think, in
Uh-huh.
addition to SweatsWise and the interface. I mean, being able to display that information will probably be a little bit easier, but I think that's more of a process step that we have to do workflow wise.
Exactly.
Anyway, because I don't know if we register and actually go out and register
Right.
for customers at the moment.
Well, and that leads to something that's been on our wish list for a while, and we did talk quite a bit with Tina about this.